Hey, how's it going everyone? It's Master Leaf here, and welcome to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath commentary. Today we've got bike-RUsh+ownz playing as the red Black Hand, and Dirty Dutch, the one and only, playing as the yellow Black Hand. So a Black Hand mirror on Tournament Rift. Tournament Rift is obviously the most popular map in the Kane's Wrath rank. Let's start this one again. In the Kane's Wrath 1v1 ranked map pool. So as you can see, bike-RUsh+ownz here. He's going to be in the left, drafting a shredder turret to get those Confessor Cabals. He's probably going to go for 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 engineers, although you have to go for a secret shrine if you're going to do that. Dirty Dutch, he is training Confessor Cabals before his saboteurs, so perhaps he is thinking on grabbing the neutral structures down here before bike-RUsh+ownz, since bike-RUsh+ownz, he did train the engineer first. So some interesting build orders by both of these players. bike-RUsh+ownz, obviously he's sending 2 squads through the center, probably wants to have a definite scout over Dirty Dutch. And Dirty Dutch, he wants to capture this spike. If he loses that engineer at this stage of the game, it will be pretty massive for him. But as you can see, these scouts here by bike-RUsh+ownz, they will get easily intercepted by those scouts of Dirty Dutch. And Dirty Dutch only losing 1 squad member, but their health bar is severely low. I mean, each of the members must have like a tiny sliver of health left, I can only imagine. Unfortunately for Black Hand and the human factions, you cannot heal your units in Tiberium. Unlike the Scrin. So Dirty Dutch will have no problem here capturing the Tiberium spike. Meanwhile, what is bike-RUsh doing? Oh, this is to be expected from bike-RUsh, isn't it? The all-in. The classic all-in. Looks like he's going to go for an all-in bike spam. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dirty Dutch will be following it up with the same kind of build. How is Bike doing for his numbers? Okay, he does have 3 bikes. Please bear in mind that Dirty Dutch is on 2 Tiberium spikes, so this may help him fund this single war factory. As you can see, the bike is being trained slowly by those 2 tip spikes which are funding him. bike-RUsh+ownz, he has to do something with these bikes now as he has no construction yard. And where is the construction yard of Dirty Dutch? Okay, Dirty Dutch, he didn't bother to sell his construction yard, so that is good. Meanwhile, what's happening here? We've got bikes facing off against bikes, but bike-RUsh, it looks like he has superior numbers. Only 2 bikes remaining for Dirty Dutch. Dirty Dutch will want to train a couple Scorpions or even a barracks. That is a smart thing to do, building a barracks there. Train some rocket squads, and even Confessor Cabals, sell a couple power plants, get some really cheap Confessor Cabals. And bike-RUsh, he's already set up a base lock here, preventing Dirty Dutch from going out and harassing. But he does have a couple bikes, several bikes here by Dirty Dutch, and he may actually take on those bikes here. Surprisingly, Dirty Dutch isn't doing too bad for his units compared to bike-RUsh+ownz, who has sold his MCV. And has bike-RUsh+ownz, is bike-RUsh+ownz reinforcing his army with more units? Or no, he's not. Doesn't look like it. He's not going to continue this all-in aggression. Taking out barracks. This rush doesn't look to be so cost-effective against Black Hand as it is against Scrin, I'm afraid. I mean, against my faction in particular, Traveler 59, this rush is almost impossible to beat. Because these Cabals that just anti-scout you, I mean, he sends them in great numbers around the map. They get into your base, and then the Seekers that fire, they're meant to fire at the bikes, they fire at the Cabals instead. It's so stupid. The targeting priorities of those Seekers is so messed up. But enough of that here. We got bike-RUsh+ownz not bothering to recover his construction yard just yet. I imagine he'd be working on that right now. And how is Dirty Dutch doing for his economy? He's got 3 harvesters here on 1 refinery. bike-RUsh+ownz also surprisingly on a larger ratio than Dirty Dutch, but I suppose that Dirty Dutch will be now building a 2nd refinery, and due to bike-RUsh not having an MCV, his 2nd refinery will be delayed. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a harvester or 2 down to the blue Tiberium. That's sometimes what he likes to do to even the tides. bike-RUsh+ownz, he has just recovered his MCV, and how is Dirty Dutch doing now? He's got bikes. A very nice defense setup. He's secured the perimeter with these rockets and Cabals. That's nice work, including the cabals there that grants the rockets an aura. Gives them 50% more fire rate and armor. And this looks like the engineer of bike-RUsh. Let me just zoom in here. Yes, it is indeed bike-RUsh's engineer, and it will get sniped down by those cabals. That is no doubt about that, as cabals have got just ludicrous range. bike-RUsh+ownz working on his second refinery now. Dirty Dutch already has his second refinery, so he will be ahead in terms of economy right now, as he also does have the spike, and it looks like he's going to train. He's going to capture this bike here. Did that engineer get sniped down? It did. It looks like it did get sniped down, unless it's hiding in the edge of the map, which is always possible. It's a slight glitch in this game. Scouting with the Raider buggy, probably expecting Dirty Dutch to be capturing a Tiberium spike with an engineer, but he was a bit too fast for bike-RUsh, who is just going to find out now that he does have already captured the 2 Tiberium spikes at the south. Dirty Dutch going into Scorpion tanks while wow, big battle going on here. We've got bikes facing off against bikes. Do not know who's going to win, but you know, bike-RUsh+ownz, he won decisively in that specific engagement, as he had this much superior numbers in terms of bikes. Yeah, he's got way too many bikes there, and Dirty Dutch, he is exploiting that and going for Scorpion tanks, and Scorpion tanks, they do counter the bikes reasonably well. He could probably send those Scorpion tanks in now and try to cut off the bikes, but these bikes doing a smart move by going through this alley of attack. Bikes, though, they decided to go through this way, but Dirty Dutch already has eyes down here, and he will know exactly the position of these bikes, and he should be moving his forces into position, or no, maybe not. He's probably going to be training a barracks or something, because these bikes here, will they be bothering to attack Dirty Dutch's expansion or go back to base and defend? It looks like he's going to go back to base and defend against these Scorpion tanks, and bike-RUsh+ownz, he already has some Scorpion tanks here. With the War Factory repairs, he should be alright. Micro back that Scorpion tank there so it doesn't get destroyed by those the Scorps of Dirty Dutch, and Dirty Dutch easily, not Dirty Dutch, bike-RUsh easily stops those Scorpion tanks from invading his base and destroying a couple of harvesters. And his harvesters are safe for the meanwhile. Does he have his construction yard out already? I suppose. Oh, did he just sold his construction yard? But Dirty Dutch just, bike-RUsh+ownz just sold his construction yard. For what gain? I do not know. He did capture the Tiberium spikes. That is one thing, but for a construction yard and MCV, that is questionable, as bike-RUsh+ownz, he does not have many Scorpion tanks. Dirty Dutch, on the other hand, he does have an expansion already up. bike-RUsh+ownz, he has depleted his Tiberium field here, so unless he leeches some of the blue Tiberium or expands to the south quickly, he will be in a very dire situation indeed, as he will not have any Tiberium, and without resources, it's kind of difficult to win a game that demands resources. Bikes going in, nice micro by bike-RUsh+ownz, avoiding the Scorpion tanks, but I'm afraid they're going to be seen by the bikes of Dirty Dutch, and Dirty Dutch's bikes going to be easily cleaning up this mess here, taking out a majority of bike-RUsh+ownz attack force of bikes. Meanwhile, bike-RUsh+ownz, he's got a small army of Scorpions here, and a couple of Scorps here. I did not see those Scorpions. I never knew he had this many Scorpions. Wow. And wow, Dirty Dutch sniping down those harvesters. 3 harvesters likely going to get killed here. Dirty Dutch, knowing him, he should be able to kill this harvester, no bother, even though there's a ton of Scorpion tanks here. But oh, expending too many bikes there. He's still got 2 harvesters though, so that probably was cost effective, as those harvesters were going to leech the blue Tiberium field. Dirty Dutch, he should be fine, I imagine, but these Scorpion tanks, they're in real big numbers here. Unfortunately, bike-RUsh+ownz does not have the dozer base, but he can still crush the infantry with these Scorpion tanks. And the infantry is what he'll be going for at the moment, as he will not be able to kill them with the cannons of those Scorpion tanks. Microing down those Scorpion tanks of Dirty Dutch, but Dirty Dutch, he's got a barracks here to reinforce his army of Scorpion tanks, and bike-RUsh+ownz is looking to be in a very big disadvantage. Couple bikes here by bike-RUsh+ownz, sniping down a Scorpion tank. That's nice work. And Dirty Dutch, he's got his army of Scorps already here. bike-RUsh+ownz, has he expanded to his natural Tiberium field yet? No, he hasn't. Is he even bothered to rebuild his MCV? Doesn't look like it. And just a second, please. Itchy throat. Okay, so small line, or it's like a line formation of Scorpion tanks here. Dirty Dutch, he should be really applying some pressure to bike-RUsh+ownz, perhaps get some attack bikes and roam around the sides of the map. You don't want to let bike-RUsh+ownz have the map control, which he currently does have with these bikes here. And the Tiberium spikes do belong to bike-RUsh+ownz, so that will give him some resources. Selling off a power plant, getting some confiscate bars to take out some of these bikes. With those bikes coming in, they're going to destroy a harvester of Dirty Dutch. bike-RUsh+ownz definitely needs to inflict some serious pain onto Dirty Dutch, and as you can see, Dirty Dutch is moving his Scorpion tanks out of the base here. The Scorpion tanks have been diverted away from the bikes, and the bikes can come in completely unopposed. Only a couple rockets here to kill these bikes, and they will be enough to kill the bikes, but trashing the majority of Dirty Dutch's economy, and that is definitely what bike-RUsh has needed. And as you can see, Dirty Dutch, he's probably going to push in now with all the units he does have. Those harvesters will be his top priority now as bike-RUsh+ownz. He is only down to 3 harvesters. It looks like actually he's got more than that. He's got 2 there as well. Exchanging losses here, going to kill 2 more harvesters. So bike-RUsh+ownz was probably looking to maybe distract Dirty Dutch. Hope that he would stay in his base and camp for a little while he leeches the blue Tiberium, but I'm afraid that did not work out too well for him in the end. And Dirty Dutch going to retreat for some reason. I don't know if that was a good idea. Maybe he is afraid that bike-RUsh+ownz has a much bigger force than what he currently does have, but Dirty Dutch, he does look like to be in a number superiority at the moment. He's got superior numbers in terms of Scorpion tanks. Second refinery being built at the moment by Dirty Dutch. He will drop that in the moment. Cabals going to take a swipe at the Tiberium spike. That's really what's fueling bike-RUsh+ownz, to be honest, at the moment. He's probably leeching from this field here. It's much more safer, obviously, than going to the blue Tiberium, as he lost a couple harvesters trying to do that, and bike-RUsh+ownz sending some bikes around the side, possibly hoping to kill some more harvesters, or perhaps even just 1 harvester. He's probably looking to destroy at least 1 harvester with those bikes. And Dirty Dutch, he's got a nice army of Scorpion tanks. I mean, he could move out with those now, as bike-RUsh+ownz, he is really, he's dying. It looks like he's going to lose this game at the current time. So I don't know what to think of this at the moment. Oh no, bikes coming in. And I think bike-RUsh+ownz knows that this harvester is on heavy damage mode, and he will get it. He will destroy that bike, and that's what bike-RUsh+ownz needed. So it looks like both players here really struggling to get an economy at the moment. bike-RUsh+ownz doing incredibly well there to have a comeback, luring Dirty Dutch's forces away from his extra strike force, which just completely flanked Dirty Dutch, and they went in and destroyed a majority of Dirty Dutch's harvesters. So that was very, very nice work. And bike-RUsh+ownz being absolutely non-stop with these bikes, sending an additional group of bikes in to perhaps even do more damage to Dirty Dutch's economy. Again, retreating with the Scorpion tanks. bike-RUsh+ownz, it looks like he does have his refinery up now. He does have a couple more than a couple Scorps here. He's got quite a few Scorpions, but I think that Dirty Dutch definitely has the more Scorpions at the moment. Taking out the Tiberium spike of bike-RUsh+ownz. bike-RUsh+ownz, Dirty Dutch obviously does not want to let bike-RUsh+ownz accumulate too many credits from those Tiberium spikes. As you can see, taking out those Tiberium spikes there. It looks like Black Disciples was upgraded for bike-RUsh+ownz, so bike-RUsh+ownz now probably looking to go into infantry spam. That's a nice transition, especially against Scorpions. Although against this many Scorpions could probably just crush them. You need to have extremely good micro to avoid the crush. Maybe Fanatics would be a good choice. I don't think Black can get the infusion upgrade, that Tiberium infusion upgrade, which makes the Fanatics run much faster. No, that they get the Black Disciples in exchange of that. And walking over the Tiberium wall, that's not good. Units will lose a lot of their hit points going over that. I'm not sure what bike-RUsh is hoping to accomplish with this. Perhaps he just wants to keep Dirty Dutch's army busy while he leeches some of the blue Tiberium. But I have I really think he's going to lose them all of these rockets for really nothing. Dirty Dutch, he is massing cabals, and he should go for the secret shrine right now and get the Black Disciple upgrade as well, as the Black Disciples will be the unit, the upgrade that makes these infantry squads of Black Hands so deadly and brutal. A Black Hand squad there easily can get overwhelmed, but using the hallucinogenic grenades, and I can't believe I just pronounced that. Using the hallucinogenic grenades, and actually kills 3 of his own Black Hand squads with that. So that is a seldomly used unit ability. bike-RUsh+ownz, obviously, I've noticed he likes to use that lately. It does kind of work, but you know, it is kind of buggy at the same time. It takes forever, literally forever, to throw those grenades. But Dirty Dutch coming into bike-RUsh's base, and bike-RUsh, does he have a defense against this? He does have some Scorpion tanks, and this mobile construction yard is going to get destroyed, absolutely murdered, this construction yard. And there you go, there it goes. Only a war factory remaining. bike-RUsh+ownz will want to protect that war factory at all cost, as that is his only production queue, his only macro at the moment. And Dirty Dutch all of a sudden looking to be in the better position for the second time. So Dirty Dutch, bike-RUsh+ownz will have to make another comeback here. His economy, I mean, to be honest, his economy isn't doing too well. What am I talking about? It is doing too well. It is doing quite well actually, because he does have 5 harvesters here. Dirty Dutch, he is on the same ratio, yeah, I believe, but Dirty Dutch, he does not have many patches of Tiberium left, so he may want to move his MCV, or how did I call it, or did I call it? Yeah, there we go. He's moving his MCV now to the blue. And speaking of blue, look at the size of the blue Tiberium field. That is absolutely insane. So Dirty Dutch will see that as an opportunity now to win the game. Set up shop at this expansion, this blue expansion, and basically mine the crap out of it and train a lot of units, whether it be man spam or Scorpion tanks, although the mixture of both would be quite brutal. I mean, Scorpion rocket is really powerful, I'm not sure of anything that can beat it, to be honest. bike-RUsh+ownz being sneaky with these Scorpion tanks, sending them around the side, but deciding no, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to support these rockets here with my Scorpion tanks. He does have an operations center. Perhaps he's thinking on going for 1-clicks, and I do know that bike-RUsh is an avid 1-clicker. He is indeed a 1-clicker. Most of his games, if he can't win with an all-in, he resorts to the 1-clicks and then the Redeemer. So it's one or the other, really. And Rocket's going to take out, or maybe not. That Rocket squad does survive. Both of its members actually, but yeah, as you can see, the Tiberium exposure just murders those followers of Cain. You have to be extremely brave to run through Tiberium in the cause of the Tacitus, regaining the Tacitus. And the Tacitus, it is part of the story, the lore, the Cain's Wrath lore. Dirty Dutch here. He may be falling into a trap going into that Tiberium field, as bike-RUsh+ownz probably has a chemical plant queued or a Redeemer engineering facility, one of the two. And there it is, chemical plant. And these Scorpion tanks here, bike-RUsh+ownz, I know exactly what he's got in his mind here. But his construction yard is under attack, and he uses the Tiberium vein detonation. The Tiberium vein detonation goes off, and he destroys most of Dirty Dutch's army, and Dirty Dutch's army gets completely obliterated by that there. And bike-RUsh+ownz coming to engage these Scorpion tanks, and those rockets there will be coming to supplement the Scorpion tanks of bike-RUsh+ownz, which are not in the numbers he would like them to be in. Not going for dozer blades. I suppose this many Scorps doesn't really warrant dozer blades at the moment. And where is Dirty Dutch's construction yard? Dirty Dutch's construction yard is here. He could probably transfer another 1 or 2 harvesters to the blue Tiberium field, since he does have control of that now. bike-RUsh+ownz trying to snipe down this harvester. Is a full blue harvester, but I don't think that really worth sacking those Scorpion tanks to destroy one harvester. I don't think bike-RUsh+ownz done anything there. I mean, he could use his catalyst missile. And flame tank comes in from the side. Flame tank in from the side, and Dirty Dutch has nothing to really stop that there. He's only got one Scorpion tank to kill this flame tank. And these flame tanks rank up so quickly you won't believe it. And it will probably go elite any second now. Any second now it'll go elite. And Dirty Dutch realizing that these flame tanks get a shitload of experience. Pardon my language, but it is true. And the flame tank goes down, but just done a considerable amount of damage to Dirty Dutch. Dirty Dutch, though, he still has control of the blue Tiberium field. bike-RUsh+ownz, what's he going to do about this? He's out of Tiberium almost. Going for a Redeemer. Keeping his army mostly intact here. He's got a lot of Scorpions. He could heal those Scorpion tanks there. With the radius of the War Factory, of the Redeemer Engineering Facility, in fact. And what are these? Just some random rockets and cabals. So his Redeemer is out, and that's really going to be the brute force of this army. The rest will be just cannon fodder, I imagine. bike-RUsh+ownz, I imagine he'll be going straight for Dirty Dutch now, as Dirty Dutch, he will probably get raged to smithereens here. There we go, the rage goes off. What a perfect rage timing, as all those cabals are now going to start massacring each other. And as you can see, these Scorpion tanks just melting away at each other's armor. And catalyst missile goes off. Dozer blades finished by Dirty Dutch. Dozer blades, unusual to see that upgrade at this stage of the game, just being upgraded. I would have thought he would have it earlier, but perhaps he forgot about it or something. Doesn't really matter though, as it will come in handy now. And Dirty Dutch, he done some damage here, and he's going to get out of dodge now. He has shifted bike-RUsh's army, or the bulk of bike-RUsh's army, away from Dirty Dutch's base, and Dirty Dutch, he does not want that Redeemer to be anywhere near him. Although I reckon with this many Scorpions he should be okay, as long as he fires at the Redeemer first. Dirty Dutch obviously does not want to let go of this game just yet, going for an expansion to secure his win here. And bike-RUsh+ownz, he should be heading towards the blue Tiberium field, as Dirty Dutch was not allowed to finish mining that blue Tiberium. I imagine actually that Dirty Dutch will be kind of in a dire situation as well for Tiberium. Rage goes off. Those Scorps will start firing each other. The Redeemer may want to actually push forward, as it is exposing its rear armor, and that is never good. But both sides now just deciding whether or not they want to engage to this, as it will be the deciding battle of the game. If either player could lose in this very engagement here, but it looks like bike-RUsh+ownz is actually going to retreat. His construction yard is in a very vulnerable position here. At least try and fence that construction yard, bike-RUsh+ownz. And bike-RUsh+ownz, he is sending his cabals out now. Those flamethrowers on the Redeemer will do considerable damage to those Scorpion tanks. He may actually want to run this Redeemer in, using the laser to snipe down this Scorpion tank. Shredder turrets being deployed, and Shredder turrets, of course, as we all know, do a lot of damage to vehicles, especially Scorpion tanks with their very light armor, I'd say, especially at this point in the game. I mean, if Redeemers are firing at you, yeah, Scorpion tanks will be considered to be light armor. And this, crikey, this Tiberium field is almost fully regrown. bike-RUsh+ownz may actually want to set up an outpost there. But, you know, this blue Tiberium field will be what he wants to mine, and he needs the money desperately to hold off against these Scorpion tanks of Dirty Dutch, and allowing bike-RUsh+ownz to rage these Scorpions once again. So these Scorpion tanks are just being watered down every time that rage generator is being used. Dirty Dutch, who want to use those Scorpion tanks now and try and crush Dirty Dutch. And bike-RUsh+ownz coming in with a couple Scorpion tanks. Will he nail this Harvester? I think he will nail the Harvester, and the Black Hand squad goes down with the Harvester. Likely going to get a second Harvester here. Doesn't look like Dirty Dutch is microing this Harvester. And what's happening here? We've got just a couple infantry squads. Shredder turrets being deployed by Dirty Dutch, and those will easily take care of those Scorpion tanks. Very spammable, these shredder turrets in the late game. Very cheap, they only cost $600. And when they're close to dying, you could sell it for a Cabal squad, so... Again, that just proves how ridiculously overpowered Black Hand is in the late game and the early game. And please do excuse me if I'm being biased, but it's just a fact. bike-RUsh+ownz, he is going to camp at his blue field for a while. He's got his Redeemer back up to full health. Where are the Scorpion tanks of Dirty Dutch? They've made their way up to Dirty Dutch's base, and Dirty Dutch, he may want to go for a tier 3, and there we go, the tier 3 is up. I imagine he'll be going for his own Redeemer. Yeah, there we go, his Redeemer is out. He could have placed the Redeemer Engineer facility at his middle green expansion field, as that's where his entire infrastructure is at the moment. One flame tank around here could probably destroy everything. Redeemer for Dirty Dutch has spotted those Scorpion tanks and will waste them, literally, if the Scorpion tanks decide to engage the Redeemer, but I don't think they're that stupid. They know their place in the tech tree. And now it's basically the battle of the Redeemers. bike-RUsh+ownz Redeemer is heading towards Dirty Dutch's base. I think artillery would be a great option at the moment, as both sides could shell each other without losing anything, really, because both sides just don't want to commit to anything. So artillery would be great, just to cause some damage without any casualties. Or if they do decide to take out the artillery, then, you know, you've got your army there to support you and defend against that threat. Usually you have your army behind the Spectres or the beam cannons. And Dirty Dutch, what's he going to do now? It looks like he's building something that's building slow. I'd reckon that's to be a Tiberium chemical plant, and a Tiberium chemical plant would be quite devastating, as the Scorpion tanks of bike-RUsh+ownz are sitting in the Tiberium field. They're just like, oh, please use the vein detonation on me. Do it. And Dirty Dutch, he will be more than happy to waste those Scorpion tanks with a vein detonation, as his Scorpion tanks suffered the same fate on that very Tiberium field. So if he wants to exact revenge, that would be the way to do it at the moment. He can definitely try and do it, since he does have a good economy. Rage generator goes off, and will he allow this Redeemer to escape again? Oh, Dirty Dutch, why are you doing this? You could... Well, I suppose you can't really do it now, as there's Scorpion tanks here to support the Redeemer, and if the Dirty Dutch's Scorpions decide to chase this Redeemer of bike-RUsh, they will get just annihilated. What a close game this now, to be honest. But bike-RUsh+ownz, it's close unit status wise, but economy wise, I think I have to give this to Dirty Dutch, as he does have 5 harvesters. 5 harvesters here, leeching, not leeching, he's mining green Tiberium here. bike-RUsh+ownz being careful with his units, making all the right decisions, and decision making will be of the utmost importance, as whoever makes the right decisions now will emerge victorious. Selling the war factory, so obviously bike-RUsh+ownz not wanting to commit to vehicles anymore. Rage generator goes off for like the 4th time, and Dirty Dutch again, we're going to witness his tanks just blowing themselves to bits. And more Scorpion tanks going to be destroyed, but Dirty Dutch also killing some Scorps of bike-RUsh+ownz. bike-RUsh+ownz here. His Redeemer is coming into this base, and does he have something? Is that a Tiv Vein? Is it Tiv Vein? And does he get? And that was bike-RUsh's Tiv Vein. So bike-RUsh+ownz using more one-clicks here, and that just annihilated those Scorpion tanks. And the vein detonation also must have affected the construction yard and any buildings nearby it, destroying the construction yard. So no more construction yard for Dirty Dutch. He only has this war factory, and that is his only build queue. If Dirty Dutch realized that now, he could go, if not Dirty Dutch, bike-RUsh+ownz, I do apologise there. He could go and destroy this war factory now, but instead going to go and target the harvesters. I think this is all over for Dirty Dutch. He's going to have to save this war factory, and I reckon this Redeemer here could go straight for the war factory if he wants to. But oh wow, this Redeemer of Dirty Dutch is coming straight into bike-RUsh's base, and this is going to be a base race, another base race. But I think bike-RUsh+ownz, he is packing up his MCV. That is the difference in this base race here, is that bike-RUsh+ownz has a packed up MCV. Dirty Dutch's Redeemer has a Saboteur inside of it, so it can get some free repairs, while bike-RUsh's Redeemer is on critical health with no ability to repair itself. This refinery will get destroyed now, but Dirty Dutch is completely uninformed about this MCV. Does he know where the MCV is? Let's check the minimap, or the through the eyes. No, he does not. He does not know where that is. But I think he'll be going straight for that now. This Redeemer, it just does not have enough health to be effective anymore. The Scorpion tank's likely going to go in and destroy the Redeemer along with this base, the remainder of bike-RUsh and bike-RUsh+ownz. It looks like you're going to be defeated here, buddy, unless you've got something it's really sneaky around the back. And it is unusual for you to submit a loss, especially a loss. You're usually known to upload wins and brag replays. No offense. No, I do take that back. You submit some pretty good games, and that was a really good one there. I very enjoyed watching that. Very close ending. bike-RUsh+ownz, he could have destroyed the war factory. Maybe he prevented Dirty Dutch from reinforcing Scorps in the end. But nonetheless, he hung on there tight, trying to grasp get the game back from Dirty Dutch. And Dirty Dutch, he was really looking to be in a bad position as well. If you look at the resources tab, it looks like both players gathered almost the same amount of resources until the 21-minute mark, and you wouldn't really say that if you were watching the game, as Dirty Dutch, he had the more refineries, so he could get more income per minute. But Dirty Dutch, he lost a lot of harvesters to those bikes, which bike-RUsh, excellent choice by the way, using those bikes to flank around Dirty Dutch's base and snipe a few harvesters. That really set back Dirty Dutch a long way. Yeah, congratulations to Dirty Dutch for winning that game. That was very entertaining. Unit to kill death ratio 0.90 to bike-RUsh+ownz and 0.77 for Dirty Dutch, which is standard really, as both players were Blackhand, and Blackhand players, they like to expend a lot of units, as their units are very cheap to build and mass. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you thought the video was remotely entertaining, then please don't forget to give me a like. And peace out. This is Master Leaf. And oh yeah, Merry Christmas, if you do celebrate it.